This episode of Gamescast is brought to you by Tipsy Elves. Tipsy Elves, obviously, ugly Christmas sweaters. You know what's up. I'm wearing one right now. You can see this. He's half Santa, half horse. All fun. You need to show up to your Christmas. What?
Santor.
He's a Santor. I like that. I like that a lot. You can go to tipsyelves.com to check out all the different Christmas sweater designs. They're like nothing you've seen before, obviously. You got Santor right here. That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life, Kevin. Thank you. Their sweaters are all about fun. They're serious on quality and construction. I'm super warm right now. I don't know if you can see it, but I am. I'm feeling toasty. When you're shopping for your ugly sweater, check out the other holiday and collegiate attire yourself or as a gift. There's a bunch of adult onesies you can get all of your friends. There's also interactive sweaters, like beer pong sweaters and cornhole sweaters. How does that work? Check out the website and find out. You can go to tipsyelves.com and enter code TEETH at checkout to get your 20% site-wide discount. Again, it's tipsyelves.com using promo code TEETH.
I can't take credit for Santor. That is just the name of the sweater.
Okay.
God bless it.
And now let me tell you about Omaha Steaks. Are you looking for the perfect gift? Let me tell you what. For only $49.99, you can get a family gift pack when you go to omahasteaks.com and enter code GAMES in the search bar. That's 77% off. But why Omaha Steaks? Over 500 gourmet gift ideas and the highest quality cuts and ingredients, one-of-a-kind flavor, convenient quick shopping for those on your list, aged 21 days to unlock the full flavors of the cuts. They sent us these steaks. Greg Miller cooked them. We had a fantastic time. Kevin, what did you think about our meal that night?
I had so much meat that day.
Oh my God.
He made all of it at once. And
there was sausages, there was steaks, it was a meat-a-palooza.
Do you remember the pork chop?
Oh my God, the pork chop was amazing.
So good.
I love that. You saw us Instagramming and tweeting about it. It was such a good time for everybody. But right now, Omaha Steaks is giving an exclusive savings just for you guys. Listen to everything that you'll get for less than $50. 2 filet mignons, 2 top sirloins, 2 boneless pork chops, 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages. That's how you say that. 4 burgers, 12-ounce package, all beef meatballs, 4 potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apple tartlets, 1 Omaha Steak seasoning packet, plus get 4 additional kielbasa sausages free. Go to omahasteaks.com, enter code GAMES in the search bar, add the family gift pack to your cart and get a 77% savings. It's the gift guaranteed to be a hit. And man, that meal was good. I will never forget it.
Tim, now you were too full to try the dessert. The apple, is it apple turnover?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It was good?
It was good.
You guys should try it. Let me know. Tweet at me. So, next topic of the day, 2016 in shooters.
It's a good year for shooters.
It feels like it has been.
It's a great year.
We got Overwatch. We got Titanfall 2. We got Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We got Battlefield 1. All of these games.
Big Daddy Doom. You're going to get yelled at if you
We got
forget
Doom. We got, what else am I missing?
I want to hear his thoughts, and it doesn't have to be right now, on Siege, because Siege has come on so strong this year.
So Siege came out
last year. That's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
It came out, and everybody's like, oh, that's not doing anything. And then this year's just been...
It's just
Well, so
skyrocketed.
the thing with Siege is it was a victim in the same way that like Titanfall seems to be a victim this year, and it just came out at the wrong time. Totally, where there was so much other shit going on last year, where had it been earlier in the year, I think it would have like been more popular, because you don't really see people talking about Siege now, but the people that are into it seem to be super fucking into it.
Yeah, but the Siege has always had that hardcore fan base, and I think one of the things, to go alongside with the fact that he released, during the time of COD and everything like that, was the fact that it just had a lot of issues. You know what I mean? Right. Even off the bat, like when it was first released, you couldn't party up. Server issues were just crazy. But the game still worked well. Are we jumping into the Siege topic now?
You can start there. I think it applies for the year of shooters in 2016.
Shooters.
I feel like it's weird because like Siege came out last year, but in terms of like best shooters of 2016, I honestly feel like Siege is in there because they've just done so many right things with that game, and it shows, right? Like the first 2 ESL tournaments that they have, the third one is, in terms of viewerships, more than the first 2 combined. Not to mention it's had its higher player base in the past, 2 months ago. And it's because they keep adding to the game in the right way, in the sense that like there's been over 50 like changes, and they add something really interesting when it comes to like, sure, you got Titanfall, you got Battlefield, you got COD, but here's like a shooter that services like the tactical need, right? And they did a really good job of revamping that series. Like, and not just going completely in a different direction. And it stays true to like what Siege was back in the day, but evolved beautifully. And with the whole, like how it, you have destructible like walls and objects, and it's just, they did a great job. And they kept adding to the game in the sense of operatives, right? They kept adding like new characters that brought something to the table. But like one of the things that I don't like when it comes to like shooters is I like the competitiveness of shooters, and you take away the competitiveness if you start adding too many abilities, right? And you have all these ops with all these different abilities, but at the basis, it's just gun versus gun skill like fights, which is great.
Yeah.
But what I love about it the most is that something when it comes to like League, like I can't really get into League, but I've always respected and appreciated the whole, they have different characters that do different things, and you have like your pick and ban phase and like characters that counter each other. And it was cool seeing that come to the shooter genre, right? In terms of the fact that like if I choose this character, this other character is going to counter me. But at the end of the day, it just takes one bullet to kill the other opposing player with a headshot. So they just kept adding to it, and it works, and they just keep piling into it. And then there's the whole nother season, which they'll probably have another season pass for that too, and it's great.
And they're doing it free DLC, right? That was one of the things they were talking about today, and their thing is how Ubisoft, like going forward, doesn't want to charge for DLC. That's crucial to the game, or critical to the game in terms of changing the experience. And that's
and have it more cosmetic and stuff. And there's just a bunch of like little things. Like they have a ranking system that's kind of like which a lot of games have adopted, which is kind of like League of Legends, where you play 10 matches, right? And then you place, and then you get a rank, and you climb up the ranked ladder and see, that nice competitive like feel to it. And they even do little things like, like last season I placed in platinum. So that means that I got a little platinum keychain that goes on my gun. Like it's something that's tangible, right? That everyone can see, like, oh, this guy is a platinum player, as opposed to like this guy's a gold or anything like that. So it's just little things that they've done well. Yeah.
Is there a punk ass bitch medal?
Yeah, bronze.
Oh, that would be me.
Yeah. So
it's like the embarrassment one.
Yeah.
Turn the game on once.
Oh my god. So that sounds awesome. It sounds kind of like they adopted some of the fighting game mechanics, like when it comes to Street Fighter, where it's like the balance issue of just like all the different characters, and you mentioned League, so it's like similar to that. But do you think that do you find too many people using the same I'm not too familiar with Rainbow Six Siege, so I don't know how this works, but the classes, like, is it like Street Fighter where you go on, there's like a million Kens?
I mean, you do have like the must picks, but it's a type of thing where, like, even like with any game, right? Like there's tweaks and balances, so they'll take a look and see like, oh, this operative or this character in any video game isn't used very well. They even do that with Overwatch, right? They're like, right now they're tweaking Symmetra, and I think in the public test servers because no one picks Symmetra, right? And they do the same thing with Siege, but it creates an interesting dynamic as opposed to like Halo, where you just go in and you just play, as opposed to like, oh snap, okay, like, do we want to change things up and take Rook, where now we all get armor and it takes more bullets to penetrate, you know what I mean? Or as opposed to like, oh, if we don't take this character, then we get this other cool character that can see gadgets through walls, but we risk not being able to take down their reinforced walls. And so it adds this cool little dynamic in terms of like play styles.
So I fucking love Overwatch. Overwatch speaks to me because it's that, but as dumbed down as possible if you want to be. You can, get super into it and play hardcore, but like it's just fun to play as the different characters and kind of see the different abilities and be able to find the different play styles. How do you compare the two?
I mean, for Overwatch is Blizzard. Like Blizzard just does things right. You know what I mean? Like they came out with Overwatch. They're memorable characters. It's got like this MOBA type feel to it, right? Where even in like, I like how they kind of like implemented this MOBA feel and even baby step you like into it, where it's just like, oh, you pick all your characters, like, oh, not enough defense characters or not enough healers or not enough attack. And I think Overwatch does a great job of being like fun to play with iconic characters, but like hard to master. Like that game, I play a lot of it, but I'm not very good. And it's just like, wow, I like that I can go in there and play and do well, but then at the same time, like there's just so much to learn. And I like what games are doing right now. Where like they're adding more content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
having events
and having more things. So like with like Overwatch specifically, how now there's a 1v1. You know what I mean? I'm not paying for that, but now there's a new map with a 1v1. There's events. I remember like it's one of those things where I can come back to the games now. You know, there's a reason for me to come back as opposed to usually I would just play something like Overwatch. I'm like, all right, cool. But now, there is a Halloween event with a Halloween themed game mode. And they really went like full on through with it. Now there's like costumes and stuff like that.
This is the antithesis, right, of what happened with the original Titanfall.
Yeah.
Where you played the original Titanfall to death and then it just wasn't growing, right? They weren't making events out of things.
No content.
Exactly. So you leave and you don't come back to it. Or if you do, you're like, oh, where'd all this come from? That's great, but they didn't make a thing of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we keep talking about, so often on these shows is games becoming platforms. And Overwatch, right, is a platform. Siege is a platform. Division is a platform. These are shooters that are putting more and more things in there, trying to get you motivated to stick around and be what Destiny has done so well, right? Where Destiny is like, even if you play every day for 6 months and then you go away, they want you to come back because you've already got the investment what you need.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how like different games in terms of level of success with that, right? So you got Overwatch and Siege who've done well as time has progressed. And then you get like games like Destiny who just keep hanging on there. And then you get games like Division, which I feel were just too ambitious. Because I saw the Division, I was like, oh my God, Destiny was my jam. Here's another like loot shooter. They've got this great content plan lined out, like with multiple expansions and DLCs. And every time they dropped a new content, it was just glitched. That game was glitched out of its mind.
Yeah.
And it just worked against it. Right. Even to the point where like they pushed back the current expansion that just released today. But that game's it's interesting because not only can that sometimes backfire on people, but they could also bring it back, right? That gives them an opportunity because they dropped the 1.4 patch, which fixes the game. And now they have their new survival DLC, which adds something like a lot more depth to it. You guys are familiar with H1Z1.
Yeah.
Yeah. They essentially have that game mode now in the Division. Which has got
last man standing kind of thing?
Yeah, last man standing, go in there, survive the cold, then get into the DZ and fight everybody or fight everyone outside. And it's got everyone going,
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Polygon just put out an article, right, in the last 3 weeks, why you should come back to the Division. And it was a thing of like, these were all my problems and they fixed them since then. And that actually had me go, huh. And then 15 other games came out, and Watch Dogs is amazing, and I have Last Guardian on the horizon, and Final Fantasy's coming, and there's this, and I need to finish Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare still. Like, there's so much going on that it's so hard that Division I was so into for that first month, 3 weeks or whatever it was, where I was playing every night. I was so happy to hit that. I was so happy to keep going out. But as soon as I hit level cap, and then it was like, all right, now it's the gear treadmill. I looked in there, and I was like, oh, like, no, this isn't. I'm seeing how this happens and how I don't want to go. I was talking to I remember signing on one day and Tyroot was playing and it was him and Fran. I joined their party and I'm like, so what's been happening? Ty's like, oh, I've been running this same mission for like 6 hours to do. And I'm like, whoa, no. I don't want to do that again.
And you think they'd learn because like when Destiny Vanilla was first out, it was too much of a grind. Yeah. So I was sitting here thinking, okay, like the Division seems like it's very closely following that type of like model with like Destiny, and I hope they get it. And it was just, that's the same thing that turned a lot of people off to Destiny, right? It was too much of a grind. It wasn't rewarding enough, right? Yeah. You'd go in, you'd play, and you're like, you didn't have much to show for it. Yeah. Yeah. It was, but they've turned it around.
Yeah. Like, Destiny has it.
Yeah. Destiny has Division. Like I said, the patch is fixed. There's new content. Everyone's liking it so far. It's very interesting because before you'd have a game, you'd either like it or not. And then if you liked it, if you didn't like it, you just wouldn't play it, right? And then if you like it, it's like, all right, cool, I'll play the DLC. But now it's one of those things where you just kind of like sit in the wings sometimes. There's like, is it, it's a new patch or there's a new DLC or just something. It's like, is it good? Is it good yet? Or is like, how's it changed? Is it worse? Do I come back to it? So I just usually just sit here and go like, okay, like what update's coming out soon? I'm going to go check it out. Yeah. Maybe, maybe it's changed things. Now I just give the games a bit of a doubt.
Yeah. It's cool having you on the show because it's obviously have a way different perspective and you play a bunch of games that we don't play. Did you play Battleborn at all?
No, I didn't.
The 2K one.
Yeah.
Gearbox
you
2K,
didn't.
yeah.
No.
It's just one of those things where it was a clear cut. Like I was just so hyped and invested because you have Blizzard and then they come out and they create all these like iconic characters and all of a sudden like they just I was already sucked.
They nailed it. They nailed it with Overwatch.
Yeah, it was great.
Battleborn just happened.
Yeah.
So moving on from those type of shooting games over to the more like the classic shooters, Battlefield, Titanfall, and Call of Duty
and Doom.
Well, Doom. What do you think about it? I don't really bring up Doom because Doom's more of single player. Like,
oh, so you're just talking about multiplayer?
I mean, it's I guess I don't know. I don't really know what the difference is.
Doom came out so early in the year,
Yeah.
and it is a different pace and it is a different vibe, right? All the games you just said, and to some extent, we're realistic. You're some kind of military grunt, blah blah blah. Whereas this you're the fucking super soldier in demon hell space. Go fucking blast everything.
Overwatch
And it's
doesn't fit that.
Doom was just
I think it's more.
Yeah, it was a fun campaign.
I think more campaign plus multiplayer equals shooter game. But I mean, like Doom, Doom totally is. But I view Doom more similarly to the way I look at an Uncharted, where it's like it's more of it's a single player game that you're playing through, and like it could have a multiplayer aspect to it.
It does.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
got that arena
so does
style
Uncharted.
shooter.
I know.
But it's like I don't know. And again, I could be totally talking out of my ass here, but you're not playing competitive Doom.
No. And
Have you thought about starting playing competitive? You could be number one in the world pretty quick.
Number one, but would it be worth it?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Would anyone care?
There's only way to find out, Alfredo. Patreon.com/AlfredoPlays.
That plug. No, Doom was great. I loved the single player. I played it on console. And the multiplayer didn't transition that well on a controller. So I can't really speak to too much in terms of like multiplayer Doom, because PC, that's where they had all the mods and that's where the community was for multiplayer, as opposed to like, Call of Duty, where that multiplayer bases on console.
Yeah.
But my God, hold on. Going to Modern Warfare Remastered, did they mess that up on PC? It was just a mess.
It seems like that happens with a lot of PC games.
Yeah, Dishonored was a mess too. Okay.
How you guys enjoying Watch Dogs 2 on PC?
It's just Master Race. All right, we got the hertz, we got the customization.
Oh yeah,
field
Rid loves
of
the
view.
teraflops and your fucking
Yeah,
video
it's
drivers.
great,
It's
homie.
great. It's fun times.
But yeah, no, just jumping over to Modern Warfare Remastered. I remember like I got a key off Steam, and then I couldn't play with my friend who owned it on Windows. Like on the Windows game store. They split that base up.
Why?
How do you mess that up? Like the player base for obviously you play that game on a console, right? I give credit where credit's due, but how do you mess that up? How do you cut that very small player base even thinner, like by doing that? I don't even know. But I think in going into like the shooters, I think it's a great time for shooters right now. I love that oh man, COD multiplayer is just in a weird state right now. I just don't feel like I feel like their identity is kind of lost. I saw the multiplayer and I was like, what am I watching like an arena shooter right now? I'm not quite sure what's happening. I like the single player. I thought single player was great. I was happy that even though a lot of people were upset that COD went into space, I mean, you had remastered, right? So if you want that old school, Battlefield is awesome. And man, I think for me, single player Battlefield is my favorite single player shooter. Out of the Battlefield,
it's the only one I played, but it was good.
It's really good, and you would not see me say that. Like it was like, oh, Battlefield 4 or Hardline, you know what I mean? But here came Battlefield 1 with this amazing single player. Oh man, I just feel like it's you have your choices. You have the tactical Rainbow. You have Overwatch, which is just fun, goofy with characters, but you can get pretty serious in that too. You got Battlefield, which does a great job of being a casual, fun shooter. And then if you're it's weird because back in the day, everyone was like World War fatigue, but now we're like, give me the World War.
Right. Well, now they're getting sick of being futuristic exosuits and everything else.
It's a super opposite. And then I don't really compare it. A lot of people compare Titanfall and COD's multiplayer, but it's different. You have a giant mech and the map sizes are different and the way it plays is different. But I think it's a great year for shooters and just period. You know what I mean?
Do you think that any of those three failed on either the single or multiplayer front?
So instantly my mind jumps to Infinite Warfare multiplayer fails, but I think I've just come to realize that I'm a part of that old school COD genre, right? Where I just like, I like COD the way it is, but obviously COD still sells well. You know what I mean? They're still gonna have the Infinite Warfare multiplayer tournaments, and I feel like that's because there's a new generation out there that loves the new age COD multiplayer. That just isn't me. Mm-hmm. So like instantly I'm like, ugh, COD multiplayer, what the hell? Like I played the beta and I was like, no, not my jam. But personally, I would say Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. They did a good job with Remastered, better than I thought they would. Battlefield's great, Titanfall's great, but yeah, that one. Even though it's still gonna sell well, and they're gonna have tournaments, and tons of kids are gonna play it. It's gonna have a huge player base still.
Do you think all 3 single players are worth playing?
Yes. Yeah. I enjoyed Battlefield the most. I think they did a great job of like telling a story with like different characters. I cared about all of them.
The pigeons.
The war pigeons,
Shout out
man.
to the pigeons.
You actually
Pidge
got
Miller.
to be a war pigeon. It was very touching. You go into COD single player. That was great. It's you know what to expect.
It's an action movie, but
Sci-fi action
Michael Bay like campaign.
the thing about
much.
it for me is that I started Battlefield and then I started COD and I had beaten Titanfall single player, and so Battlefield, because it's segmented, I feel like I got the thrust of it. I'm not like anxious to get back to it. Yeah. But when I platinum Watch Dogs, the plan is to go back and finish off Infinite Warfare's campaign, because it's like it's still just in the middle of that story. Like I took the bookmark and put it in there and shut it. And I'm like, I actually want to get back because I did like those characters and I did think they were doing interesting stuff, and I want to see what happens next.
Yeah. I think they all did a really good job. Titanfall, I wasn't as like hyped about campaign. I mean, if you guys saw the review.
Up top, Alfredo.
Yeah. I wasn't hyped about it. I sat there, I went to the review.
It's good.
I played it. It's good, but it's not like everyone's on social media. It's amazing. This is great. You gotta play it. I didn't connect emotionally the way I thought I would. I felt like I had a lot of issues with pacing. It had great platforming segments, which just blew my mind. I did not expect. There's some levels in there that came out of nowhere, which was great. So it worked mechanically, but I just didn't care about the story or the characters or the war I was fighting. And I thought it was crazy. And then Colin and Greg were like, it's good, not great. I was like, oh, that's
so now you're crazy, but you have friends.
Yeah, I'm crazy with friends. Good. I like that.
Up high, I feel like Batman v Superman. Yeah, that's what I like to see too.
All right.